Hi guys. Hi, we're not full screen. There we
Hello. Can you believe we are on time?
are. Yep. Oh,
Well, it's kind of the middle of the week or the end of the week, but
that's
we're
okay.
here
We're here.
for a week. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we are.
So,
Oh
well, and
goodness.
I finished writing Apex, so my time has just kind of opened up, and I'm enjoying, relaxing and stuff in the evening. So I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? I just it's nice to kind of get back into the flow of things. So,
Good.
yeah. Have you been with like school and stuff? It's going back to work this week, I'm sure has been tough after the holidays. It's everybody's been
Yeah.
just yeah.
There was one night. I think it was a. I think it was last night. It was the night before last. Whatever night that was.
I
It
think
was
it
Tuesday.
was,
Tuesday night.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was the first day. It was like the first day back because we were 4 day week. We had Mondays off, but we had PD
Yeah.
on Monday. Um, but it was like the first official with students day back, and so we had that, and then it was the first night of play practice. So I was there until about 6:15, and I come home, and I
Uh-huh.
had fixed dinner real early that night,
Yeah.
and then I had because I was sitting here for some reason because for some reason I was getting a lot of reels on Instagram about Asterion, so I'm like, for a split second I'm like, oh, I want to play Baldur's Gate again,
Yeah.
because on one of my characters I had started unlocking some of the romance options, and I'm like, I need me some Asterion, and so I had started installing that, and it was going to take a while, and I'm like, oh well, might as well
That's
just leave
yeah.
this to go. And so I went and I sat down in my chair in the living room, and that should have been my first red flag that I was going to be out.
Oh,
But it
no.
was like, it was okay. So most of the time, if I try to nap in the chair, I'll get episodes of like sleep paralysis and stuff because of my sleep apnea and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
this wasn't. It wasn't even like sleep paralysis. It was not, I was out. But it was the
Oh
funniest
my goodness.
thing is I remember this reoccurring thought as I was sleeping was that I need to wake up so I can watch Queso so I don't miss his stream.
That's
And I'm like,
hilarious.
because he starts
I kind
streaming
of did
it.
that.
He starts streaming at 9, and I'm like, I need to wake up so I can watch his stream. I need to get up so I can watch his stream. And so it was like
Yeah.
9. It was like 9 or 9:30, and I slept for a good
Mhm.
hour and a half. It was it was fantastic. But then I got up, and then I got up, and I had like a split. I don't know what it was, but like I had my head hurt, my back hurt. It was like I was a mess when I got up, but the nap was
That's
great.
all.
But I was telling mom about it later, and she's like, "Yeah, you were just tired. That's what
You
that
just
was. You were
tired.
just tired." I'm like, "That's fair."
Yeah.
But
I haven't been sleeping good at night sometimes, so I'll like if I get comfortable on the couch and I'm reading, no matter what it is, I will fall asleep because I've been rereading one of my books. And I knew Michael was going to be coming in, and I remembered distinctly in my sleep, I was asleep and I could not wake up, but I was thinking, you need to wake up, Michael's going to be in, and you need to get up, Michael's going to be in, and I could not wake up until he came in and he laughed because he's like, I walk in and your mouth's wide open and you're snoring, and I'm just like, really, Michael? And he just teases the crap out of me. He was just laughing.
it's
And
funny.
then the dog, Echo, our husky, like laid on his back, and he was like, like sleeping the same way. It was like hilarious, apparently.
That's funny.
But yeah. So, all right, what have you been reading?
Okay, I have been working on Daughter of No Worlds. I'm a little over halfway with it.
Ooh,
I got to a really angsty, like an
I'm gonna
angsty-ish
read the
part.
prologue. Was
I
it New
got,
Year's?
I got the first chapter with the guy character. His
Mm-hmm.
name is Max Centarius, I believe is his full name, but he goes by Max.
Uh-huh.
I got his
Okay.
first chapter, and it was like the perfect moment to get his chapter. It was just, yeah, because there's like the hints at like in his chapter, there are hints at like something going on in his head, and so I don't want to give details, but like he spent some time with the guy and the girl character spend some time together, and some things happen, and he doesn't reveal what's going on, but he's like really stressing, like don't do this. He just say no, don't do it. And he was like, it was just a really emotional moment, and he was just like, it was good. But I haven't. I haven't read post emotional moment yet. I haven't read that part yet, but
Yeah, for
yes.
those of you who didn't know, she let me listen and read the prologue. I think it was New Year's when you came
Hmm.
over, and we were just chilling on the couch, and she let me read
Okay.
it, and I was like, I need to read this
Hmm.
ASAP.
Yeah. Also,
It's
I
so
think
good.
it wasn't so much like because I know you were pointing out narrator issues. I don't
I
think
didn't really catch it anymore.
those weren't mistakes. Those were just edits that were changed because I have the newer version, the re-released version, and the audiobook
So
has
it
the
was
old
different.
cover. So, because there was like a
Okay.
whole
Yeah.
section where she changed the wording on something, and I
Mhm.
read it a little bit later where she had changed the wording of something. It was like,
Mhm.
um, oh, it's like because she's learning this. She doesn't speak this language fluently, so there's certain words that she doesn't understand, and it was like a
Right.
phrase, and she like changed the phrase of it or something, and it was just
Yeah.
it was different. But I think it's just she did some editing when she re-released it. She went back and like re-edited it. I don't know if she kind of like got like a professional editor maybe, and had like her professional
Mhm.
editors look at it. Maybe I don't know.
Usually, when you re-release a cover, it's your excuse to kind of change anything in the book and like update it,
Okay.
re-edit it. And so, more than likely, she just found some things she wanted. Because authors, the thing with us, if we don't purposely leave our books alone, there's always going to be something. Usually, not
Hmm.
every author, because we've seen some that choose not to edit their books
Yeah.
clearly.
Yeah.
But for authors who do, there's always going to be something that you can find to change. So, and
Gotcha.
usually every 7 to 10 years is a good like update
Hmm.
your story, kind of from what I've heard.
Hmm.
So it made sense. And
Yeah.
honestly, the new covers are awesome. So,
Yes.
but so real quick, my book haul of one. Last week I was okay, so it was like the week after New Year's. I was like that weekend, I was like, I need to get the book. And I didn't go with my husband to go grocery shopping, so I sent him out and I sent him a picture of the cover and he bought it for me. And you'd be happy I have resisted starting it. Somehow I've managed to resist starting this book because I'm still trying to get through Red Rising.
That's funny.
I have a very specific reason why I've stalled in Red Rising, and it's a reason why I think you're gonna love it.
Okay.
So before I get into that, I have been listening to the Fellowship of the Ring on first Spotify, but I've switched to Audible. So I've just been listening to that. I'm still in chapter one because the prologue is like 50 minutes of history of the hobbits. And for some reason, when
Hmm.
I listen to this, I don't know if you got this feeling. I feel so relaxed. Like
Hmm.
the world is exploding around me, and there's just something about Lord of the Rings. I got this feeling too with Heather's books, but Lord of the Rings is like really strong because it's Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
Tolkien.
Father
Um,
of fantasy
I
right there.
felt it's just a fun adventure. It's lighthearted, and I can sit there and I'm so relaxed and at
Hmm.
ease and having a blast just
Yes.
listening. And Andy Serkis, I'm at the part they're explaining Bilbo's party, and there was a bunch of hobbits talking and rumors, and they went
Hmm.
back and forth about a bunch of different things about I think it was Frodo's parents' death, like they drowned. And like the voices of all the characters, like every single one is different. Like
Yes.
you guys
Yes.
so good.
Hmm.
And I'm just like, you know what? I'm a kid and I'm having fun. And this is
Yeah.
just like, it's
Yeah.
the funnest I've had, I think, listening to an audiobook.
Oh yeah.
And it's just been
He does
history of
awesome.
hobbits and a dialogue conversation about rumors. Like,
Oh
and that's
yeah.
all I've made. It's
Yep.
great. So,
Yeah, he does such a good job. Like, and that's one of those things. Like, I'm honestly
I
pretty
know.
excited to watch the Twin Towers because I've watched the movie all the way through, but it's not the one that I gravitate towards the most. So like when I watch the
Hmm.
movies, I typically gravitate towards. I honestly probably the most watched one would be Return of the King. Like that's the one I watch the most, just because it has the the most emotional like
Episode
the
three,
epic
you know.
battle and the
Oh,
and the quotes, and it's just really good. And so I probably Twin Towers is the one that I've like watched the least. Which
hmm.
it's kind of probably a little bit biased because that was the one my dad thought was the least entertaining out of the three
Okay,
movies.
yeah.
So that's probably why I've seen it less. It's just because Dad and I both loved the third one, and so
That's
we
great though.
always
Mhm.
gravitated towards the third one. But
Yeah.
yeah.
For okay, our DVD on the second one. would, like, you know how DVDs used to like skip
Skip,
and
yeah.
like skim and then it would watch
Oh.
at a certain point right before the big battles would happen, like during the Treebeard conversation kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and then it would go back, it would stop working. So I haven't
Uh,
gotten to see the ending of that movie in
Yo,
a
we need.
long
Okay.
time.
I have
Yeah,
the
like
DVDs, so we need to have like a watch
I
night,
watched
and
it.
watch them. Yeah.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so Red Rising. I genuinely love this book. It's a victim of my reading slump mostly. And without spoilers, okay, the vibe is definitely different. It starts off very serious, and he's like a 16-year-old who's married, so he has an adult mindset. He refers to like the 12 and 14-year-olds as children,
Yeah.
just because they're acting more immature than he is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the things that this man goes through is like awful. So at
Yeah.
some point in the story, without spoilers, he gets into a circumstance. It's literally like Fourth Wing meets Harry Potter, but like sci-fi
Hmm.
on Mars.
Okay.
And
That's a
you know,
good combination. Not gonna lie.
with the Hunger Games, with a Hunger Games as the world and the setting. So, like,
Okay. Okay.
imagine like Fourth Wing and Harry Potter under the
Hmm.
Capitol, the Hunger Games, and then
Okay.
you have this. Like, that's the whole vibe, and I'm like, this is a
Yeah.
Hannah book. Like, this is 100% a Hannah book.
Okay.
You know me, I
Confirmed.
like that was the part of Fourth Wing I struggled with was the War Academy, and the only thing that got me through it was to learn how to war basically,
Yeah.
and I just kind of slowed down when
Uh,
we got to the academies kind of
yo.
stuff because that's not my vibe. But it's your vibe, and I'm like, oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh, Hannah's gonna love this.
Cool.
So I've been
Okay.
trying to get through it, yeah,
I'll take it.
and it just I've never read Harry Potter, but it gives me those vibes. It feels
Mm-hmm.
like that's what it
Oh
is.
yeah.
Also, bad guys are meant to be written in an awful way, and I kid you, this
Oh.
is the first time I've hated bad guy
Hmm.
society so much I cannot stand to read them. I
Hmm.
literally get so mad. I've never been that mad at a villain because they're
Hmm.
intended to be villainous. But usually I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, the villain's being evil. That's cool. That's fun. This time I'm like, I'm just mad. I can't stand these people. And I'm so mad
Yeah.
I rage quit. But I'm like, they're written to be that way. I just can't get through it.
No,
So
no, that makes sense. That's
yeah,
funny.
but it's good though. So
Oh, goodness. Okay.
oh
So, I've been told that you have some drama to explain and to dish out. So, we're going
yeah.
to go straight into the all the
Okay, I took
gossip.
notes. I actually took notes. This is
Okay.
so wild. Okay,
Okay.
so this is 100% true. This is exploding specifically on the Reddit for in more in the progressive fantasy genre, which I didn't know what that was. I had to look it up. It's a lot of the character levels up kind of vibe, like SAO and which is Sword Art Online and Solo
Mhm.
Leveling, and a lot of lit RPG kind of books.
Gotcha.
Basically, Michael's genre. It's
Okay.
exploding in the fantasy version of that genre. So, Shadowlight Press is a publishing company. They were suspected to run a Discord server called Immersive Inc.,
Hmm.
and allegedly they helped found it. Now, since
Okay.
then, they've denied that they are in
Any
control of it, but
involvement.
just
Okay.
keep that
Got
in.
it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Contract that they offer to authors was leaked. So the Discord server
Hmm.
basically allowed them to start gaining trust because they're a huge publisher. They're very trustworthy. They're a big company, especially in this genre. So
Hmm.
they got a lot of authors to sign contracts with them because of the Discord server. They
Got
had a
it.
huge community there. So the contract that they offer to authors was leaked by someone who didn't sign it because if you sign it, it's an NDA. You can't talk about it. I can't
Okay.
talk about the one with my company that I signed, even now I'm not with them anymore.
Yeah.
It's
No,
an
that makes
NDA, so
sense.
you can't talk about it. So they didn't sign it. They released it. So this is insane. So the contract stated that they would own the books that you sign with them in all formats with specific wording that meant all formats available. So ebook, public, like paperback, hardback, Audible, all that stuff, and
Hmm.
all others developed in the future. So
Wow.
if some new technology comes out, they would have first rights to that. 40 for okay, so royalties would be 40 to 50%. This gets bad. Okay, this
Yeah.
is just the tip of the iceberg here. 40
Okay.
to 50% royalties for ebooks and 20 to 30% for audiobooks. So like you would only get 20 to 30% of royalties on audiobooks. That's abysmally low, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Something to begin with. But they add that your royalties only come after net profit and after the costs that they have expended come out of their, like, get paid back. So essentially, your royalties are paying them back for all of their expenses.
Hmm.
And it's worded vague enough that it means they can take out whatever marketing costs they want before they
Wow.
give you your royalties.
That's ridiculous.
And it allows them to justify, yeah, taking as much as they want. I gave the guy's example. I actually wrote it all down. So a normal contract, say you have a $10 book, The store takes $3 out of that, which means you get 7. So that 7, if you get like 60% royalty, which is pretty normal, you get $4. The publisher company gets 3 of the 7, and your actual what you're making is $4 out of the $10 book.
Yeah.
So what, it's $4 and some change, but you get my point. So this contract means that if you have the same $10 book, the store takes out 3, the publisher company would then take out an extra 3 for marketing costs, and then you would get 4, but you're still only get 40 to 50% of those royalties, which is like $2 to $1, $2 to $1. Like, yeah, so it starts cutting
That's
down.
crazy.
So then it gets worse. The contract continued, and this is a real contract. Lawyers and people have started to speak on this. Each book you sign with them enters into a 10-year contract period that makes the contract agreement last for 10 years. But each new book you sign with them restarts the 10 years and adds 10 more years to it. So then you may be thinking, okay, well, just don't sign another book with them. But the contract also states that all books within a series must be signed with them, thus restarting and re-adding to the 10-year contract. So you get in this loop of getting stuck with them. And then, this is insane. All books you write while under contract with them, even if they're not a part of that series, must be shown to them first, before you can show them to anybody else. And then any other publishing offers you get during this time must be shown to them, and you have to enter into negotiations with them for 30 days before you can agree to any other publishing contract.
Wow. So it's almost like you would have to wait 10 years for your contract to cancel before you continue a series or do anything else.
Yeah. But here's the thing, it literally gets worse. If you want to get out, you have to pay back their costs and then pay them, I think it was like 20 to 25% for 5 years in order to get out. And if you stop writing, like you just suggested, or if you die, the contract gives them permission to hire ghostwriters to write your books and series in your name.
Who in their right mind would sign this? That's my thing.
People who don't read the contract. This is a lot of, like, I'm breaking it down, but a lot of it is in that jargon, that legal jargon that you can barely like, I've read a lot of contracts and I had to deal with that when I left my publisher company, so I know the language. Problem is people trust them, and a lot of young indie authors are just like, oh, it's a publishing company, I'm gonna get famous, and they sign it and they don't know what they're doing.
I'm gonna sound like one of those the world ending is kind of people, but don't trust companies at all. Any large corporation or company, do not trust them and read it yourself. Never.
Yeah. Like,
don't do it. Never. Because every single company out there is a business at the end of the day. As much as they claim that they care, they do not care. Now, the people that are actual small business owned like small business style companies that have grown over the years, they may care a little bit more than the rest of them. But all these big companies, they don't care. If you need to hire a professional to read a contract and explain it to you in a simpler way so that way you don't get stuck in something like this, do that. But do not blindly sign anything, ever.
I know. It's scary. And so that's where the whole controversy blew up, because they used the Discord server to lure in new authors who didn't know any better and then tricked a bunch of people. It was like this huge scam that you get trapped in. So when they got called out, they issued a formal apology post. I think it was on the Reddit Discord thingy, the Reddit threads for the group type thing. And their apology literally went on about how they support authors, and it literally went through the whole history of how they became a company and painting them as important and supportive. And then they tried to claim that any other authors who sign with them can bring whatever contract that makes them comfortable, which obviously would mean contracts from other publishers that they've worked with, and stuff, in order and sign those with them. Which is weird, because as the company, you're supposed to make the contract, and also other publishing companies then commented on this, pointing out that that's illegal. So I can't just, like, if I'm working with publisher company A, I can't take their contract and then give it to publisher company B, and then B tweaks it and then signs it for me. Like, you have to, like, make up your own, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the fact that they went through their history and how important they are, another really big name author, I can't remember his name, but he's big in the genre, he pointed out how that proved that they didn't just do this by accident, because they knew what they were doing, and they have lawyers who knew exactly what this contract was, and they did it intentionally to trap authors using that Discord, which they have a lot of influence in, and was able to trap innocent authors who didn't know any better. So yeah, and I already explained the progressive fantasy genre. So a lot of people are expecting a lot of lawsuits to come out about this,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh
they're
yeah, I'm
probably
sure.
gonna start tanking so fast. So I was like, this is the biggest author scandal and the worst contract I've ever seen. And this is like I've
It's
gotten into a
crazy.
bad situation myself with a company, and it's
Yeah.
just like, ooh, it gives me the ick so bad. It's awful.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And they never even apologized. They never acknowledged it. They're just like, we support authors and will be, we'll take your
Mm-hmm.
contracts. You bring us the contracts. It's like, honey,
Yeah,
no,
no.
that's illegal. You can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, it was wild.
Oh yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah. Yeah, Silverlight Publishing. I just want to blast or Shadow. I keep thinking Silverlight and it's Shadowlight Press.
Yeah.
So Shadowlight Press, I'm throwing their name out there. Do not
Mm-hmm.
get involved with this publishing company. And like
Yeah.
Hannah said, like have somebody go over contracts with you, read the terms and
Mm-hmm.
conditions in the contract. In the author industry and editing
Yeah.
and like stuff like that, it is
And
so important. I
if
go over everything in every detail
always
because it's
request a hard copy of a contract so you can take it and read it for yourself. If a company refuses to give you a hard copy contract, then that's the first red flag for you to wash your hands of that company and never have anything to do with them.
yeah,
Always
for
get the
sure.
contract, always read over it, because if they genuinely want you to partner with them, they're going to let you have the time to read through it. They're going to let you.
Yeah, it's insane. So
Oh my goodness.
oh, I kind of want to do a video breaking down like what you should typically expect from a contract, like what's normal, what to look for, and those kind of things. But I haven't gotten around to doing it yet. So
That'd be definitely be
typically
helpful.
5 to 7 years, like 10 years, and then getting in that perpetual loop.
Yeah.
And then if you die, they can hire a
I
ghostwriter to like
I know
continue your series
nothing,
without you.
like I know nothing about writing and publishing at all, but even I know that 10 years is a long time. One, and
Mhm.
two, completely restarting your time, that is not normal. That is not something any other publishing company is going to have. That's not a clause that anyone else has. That any sane publishing company is going to have. That, oh, by the
Yeah,
way, if you publish another book, which we're kind of forcing you to do anyway, your time restarts.
that's it's like I
It
was like
literally sounds it
flabbergasted when I
literally
learned this.
sounds like
I was like,
something out of a dystopian novel itself. Like that concept of you're
it does.
trapped. It's almost like, honestly, I know it's not this, but it makes
Yeah,
me feel like, think of like how indentured servitude was back in the day, where
yeah.
like
I'm like,
you working and working, but you never were able to make up enough money. Like many of these people were never able to make up enough money to get out of it, and it's like it literally
yeah,
gives me the ick like that. And I'm like, it literally
yeah.
reminds me of like indentured servitude. Like they're tying you into this and forcing you to do this because otherwise they're gonna hire people to do it for you, and it's like, no,
And like apparently
ew,
one of the other things they talked about in their apology was like, "Oh, we're not looking to grow. We're hiring very specific people who are a good fit for our company." And it's like, "Okay, you're saying you're important and you're big,
yeah,
but you're also saying you don't want to grow. And if you're an indie press and you're an indie author looking to like a small publisher, you hope your company is going to grow because you're only going to get revenue if they keep getting bigger."
yeah,
Like you're gonna the publishing company is gonna go. I've been a part of one that I can talk about because there was no NDA, but they basically like they my books flopped. They gave me the rights back, and then they actually went downhill a couple of months
hmm,
later, and the whole company shut down. So
yeah,
you want your because they couldn't grow. So it's
hmm,
not just about getting authors. Like the company itself has to continue growing
yes,
in order to
exactly,
make it. So that's also not a good excuse. Like,
yeah,
oh, we're only signing with a few people. Like, okay, so you're enslaving
yeah.
like 2 people instead of 10. That's not gonna help
That's
anything.
not helpful at all. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Whew.
yeah,
All right.
but supposedly they're expecting things to go quiet with them for a while because they've really screwed themselves over
Yeah.
with all
Yeah.
this. So yeah, but I was just like, that
I
is
just feel for all the
crazy.
people that have signed with, like, that didn't think to read. And honestly, partly that's their fault for not reading. You always read.
Yeah.
Always read the contract. But anyway, part of me does kind of feel for them a little bit because
I do too.
I know
I've
I
been in
would
this
hate to be in that
situation before,
situation,
so
but also
yeah.
I would know enough that I don't just blindly sign a contract. Like you
Yeah,
always
for
read
sure.
it. Like that was, you know,
I did when I got in, and I read through it. I didn't understand some of it, but like it was still enough to
Mm-hmm.
tell me kind of what to expect and
Yeah,
stuff. So
exactly.
yeah, so that was kind of juicy.
Oh yeah. Okay. Was it? I couldn't remember if you said you had multiple or if it was just that one. That was the main
Yeah,
one.
I didn't know if you wanted to go back and forth or
Yeah.
if you didn't
No,
have
no, no.
anything.
I honestly didn't have. My brain has just been
All right.
full classroom
Yeah.
for the last few days,
Cool.
so I
Yeah.
am ready for all the stories.
Okay.
All the
So
gossip.
I found several. I did start saving several back in December. We didn't get to do a regular
Mm-hmm.
December check-in, and the end of year videos kind of took it up. So some of these are from December, but they're not old. They're
Yeah.
just, I saved them back just to let
No,
everybody
that
else
makes
know.
sense.
So there was a post that was by When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't by her, but it was some other reader about her book, When the
Got
Moon
it.
Hatched, and the new one called The Ballad of Falling Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
So she showed a picture of both covers side by side, book one's cover and book two's cover,
Mm-hmm.
and the person made the post that I don't mind or care to wait longer for a book, but can we please change the cover of the second book? It doesn't match the art style of the first book at all, and it feels really off. Crying emoji. Heck, but the other word. I'll
Yeah.
take the placeholder cover at this point. That was simple and pretty. And somebody reposted that, and then the comment that they made that I saved was, no, y'all bullied Callie Hart and the OG cover was fire. These are their books. You don't like it, then learn how to rebind the books to
Yeah.
your liking.
Oh
Y'all
yeah.
tick me off.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was mad. I was like, y'all bullied Callie Hart. Now you're trying to do it to Sarah A. Parker. I haven't even read her books yet, and
Yeah.
you're already picking on her cover.
Yeah. I was gonna look at book
So that was,
two.
yeah. I found it on
Honestly,
Threads, but I'm
it
sure
has the literally it has the exact same vibe. What is she even talking about?
I don't know. It's the same font. There's a dragon. The colors are different, but like the
Well,
other
like
one, Carissa
instead of
Broadbent
like the
loves to do
dragons
that.
on the side, on the right side in the first one, in book one, and then in book two, it's a black dragon instead of a white one, and it's more center stage. It's two different dragons, but it's the same concept. The book one is in front
I
of like
can
a
tell.
window. It looks like an archway or
Yeah.
a window, and it has like I can see where it has like a little music, like the little leaves blowing, and that whole the wispiness
Yeah.
that's not in the second one. So I would kind of understand like they are different, but not every author is going to be like a Sarah J. Maas kind of person that's going to format them all exactly the same. Like you want them to be similar, yes, and it does feel different from book one. Like when I look at them back to back, I can see a distinct difference. I honestly would not say I wouldn't go as far to say that she should change it like that girl did, or say that she would prefer the other one.
Yeah.
But I do think they do look significantly different. I would agree with that. Like they do look now that I'm looking at them
Yeah.
back to back, they do look different. But I wouldn't
Yeah.
say that
I
the
feel
second
like
one's bad.
yeah, to me, I feel like, okay, if you saw book two by itself, do you think you would associate it with book one in your mind? Because usually that's what the
Not really.
covers are supposed to be.
Not
Yeah, I'm
really. If
not,
I'm
I
being
feel
honest,
like
not
I could,
really.
but it's hard. Yeah, I don't know. Um,
Okay, what I would
yeah,
have done is like if you notice like in book 1, it has a lot of like looks almost like silk wispiness, and then there's like
I would
for me it looks like
fire
music
or
notes,
something.
but it's like
Yeah, I
leaves.
can see that.
I would have put some of that but changed it from like leaves to maybe like sparks or something because it seems very red. Like that's what I would have
Yeah.
done. It's just and then just added those some in there somehow, and then it would have felt the same to me.
Yeah. Instead of the black dragon having the big wings on the side, like you could have
Yeah.
had fire spewing from its mouth and
Yes.
kind of
Yeah.
flowing
Yeah. I would
over it
agree.
to match the leaf. Yeah, because like
Yeah.
when Renz and I are working on my covers, we change the elements, but we keep them
Mm-hmm.
in the same place
Yeah.
and try to give the same
And that's where
feeling.
it's like I see where the original girl was coming from. I just feel like she came at it from a very entitled attitude, where she felt like we need a different one. I don't like this one, and it's like you're allowed to say you don't like something, but it's like I just understand that the author also has the right to completely ignore you and doesn't have to act on your every whim. And it's when people start like send constant hate to an author because something doesn't look exactly the way they want. Like it's just it's kind of like when the Daughter of No Worlds, like majority of the
Oh
fans
yeah.
are very very vocal about the fact that they don't like the covers, and I'm just like whatever. Like, I see what they're
Mhm.
saying about it looking almost like Greek mythology like, because it looks like the marble stone. But
Mhm.
when you're reading about the people in the actual, there's people in the world that are pure white and that are very pale and white, and
Mhm.
there's a whole race of people that are like that. I
Yeah,
it makes
it makes
sense, but
sense
it's
then.
like, but then again, she's not fully that race. That's the thing. And if you look, it's just she's not fully that race. So it's like I don't. I'm kind of mixed things. Where I like it. I do wish I would have gotten the original covers first, just because that's just how I am. But
Mhm.
I do like the covers, and I'm gonna keep buying these covers just because one, that's what's released now. But I do like them, and I
The
just
original covers from my books. That, and you were still proud that you got those, and I'm just
yeah.
like, yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, you're an
Yeah.
OG. You
Yeah.
always support the original covers and things.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, so I think I agree with you. She comes off as kind of more aggressive. Like the part that seemed a little too far, because like again, share your
mhm.
opinions, hate the cover, whatever you want to do. But like the I'd take the placeholder cover at this point. That was simple, just like I don't
Yeah.
know. Some of it comes off as a little rude,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I was like, oh, it hit me the wrong way because Callie Hart was like hers was a lot more
Hmm.
like there were so many people and she got bullied to where she
Yeah.
actually did change it.
Yeah.
And I like the new covers, but it's just very simple. She's like, all right, you guys don't like a person? Fine. It's just going to be text
Yeah.
and, pretty simple stuff. And it's
Yeah.
like literally what she did. So,
Yeah.
yep. Okay.
That's what.
So, um, somebody made a post on Instagram and it says, this might be controversial, and she gave an opinion.
Hmm.
However, it's like we would probably agree with it, and I like it's a good controversial opinion instead of a bad one.
Yeah.
So I wanted to share. Okay, she's like, just because a book is, and this is primarily in the no spice and Christian like type of book community kind of stuff is who kind of more who she's addressing in this one.
Yeah.
um so just to give context here, so if that's not your guys' genre and when who you people
Yeah.
who are watching, then it might not be relevant. So she's like, just because a book is closed door doesn't mean it is for teens or preteens. Just because a book is Christian fiction doesn't mean it's for teens or preteens either. And just because it doesn't contain swearing, graphic violence, etc., doesn't mean it's good for preteens either. She's like, there are many truly amazing closed door Christian fiction, swearing, graphic violence, free book, graphic swearing and graphic violence free books. In other words, like they don't have swearing or graphic violence, that deal
Yeah.
with very real, very raw and honest topics that resonate with believers and non-believers alike, topics that need to be discussed and addressed and handled with grace, but not necessarily topics that are appropriate for a young teen or a preteen. It's not that they're inappropriate for Christians, but they're adult
Yeah.
issues and they're for adult readers.
Yeah.
um it's just not a matter of rightness or wrongness, but of maturity.
Hmm.
And so she just kind of gave that kind of
Yeah.
thought
No,
and
I think there's a
everything. So I
lot
kind
of
of agreed with what.
like our world is very dark, and many times fiction of any genre, but like any genre of closed door fiction, because I'm sure there's more secular books that people that stick to closed door too, but like we always associate that with Christian fantasy because that's a way more prevalent. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's one of those things that because our world is so dark and because writers and readers both write or read things that are like that relate to them in a way, or like especially for writers, like they write what's on their heart and what's on their soul and what's on their mind about things, and it's just that can be
Mm-hmm.
really dark, like the crap that people go through on a daily basis. It can be
Mm-hmm.
very intense, and that is not something that there's a lot of things that our kids are exposed to in today's world that they should not be exposed to. Like they're
Yeah, I agree.
have to grow up a lot quicker. They are exposed to so much like self-esteem issues on social media. It's ridiculous. and and it's like even like when I see like a family like page and I see these kids in videos, and I'm just like, there are so many nasty people in this world. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have pictures of my niece and nephews on Facebook, but like my settings and my security like features are so locked down that my friends are the only people that can see it. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
people that I've at least like I don't know them, I don't know where they've been. Like I've interacted with them at some point. If I know you well enough to recognize your name and your face and know that you're a decent person, I'll probably accept your friend request. But it's like
Yeah.
even I'm just like I don't know if I would put my kid in that situation. So it's like, I mean, now as a
Yeah.
kid matures and as kids mature and they grow and they become adults and they want to read those kind of more sensitive topics, go for it. I'm not saying that certain books should be banned by any means. I'm not saying that we should like age. I'm just saying that kids need to be. You need to know your child and know how mature they are for certain
I think
books.
age restriction and like restriction is kind of a strong word, but just age appropriate.
Yeah,
Like I remember when we were in
monitoring
school, they had,
really
I don't
well.
know if they still do, they had a reading grade system thing. And that did hinder a lot of people because if you were supposedly a certain grade reading level type thing, you couldn't really, like, you didn't really read ahead of your reading level and stuff.
Yeah.
And that also
Oh
could
yeah.
make other readers who went on their reading level feel
Mhm.
bad,
Yeah.
but it's still kind of like helping to kind of guide what you were reading at a certain age and different things like that. I don't know if they still do that, but they did that when we were kids. So, or at least when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so this one author, my next little scandal, I don't know why everything I had was like scandalous, but I'm like, you know what, whatever. So this author, Emma Barry Blair on Threads. So shout out to her. She got her book removed from a pirating website, but they added a quote underneath it. And the quote underneath it, on if you find it listed on the pirating site, it literally says this book isn't available for download due to the complaint of the copyright holder. And then they had a quote that says, beware of he who would deny you access to information, for in his heart he dreams himself your master. That's a quote by Pravin Lai. I don't know who that is. They literally put that on there after she demanded remove her book. It's like they're so petty. He's like, maybe
Ridiculous.
don't steal from authors and put me at risk of breaching
Yeah.
Amazon's KU clauses and receiving an income. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how rude of that. Like, this book is like blame the author. It's the author's fault. Y'all can't read this book for free. And I'm like, you pirated her book. What are you
But like
like? What?
public libraries are free. Public libraries are free. Public libraries are free.
And guess what? They give a commission to the author when the author gives them their book, so you're actually still getting paid. So libraries are a good thing, y'all.
Like, duh. And it's like, well, my library doesn't have the book I want. Well, literally, at least our local library in Missouri, you can go there, you can look on the system, and you can request a book from a different library. Oh, how fantastic. Sorry, I'm running on sarcasm
It's like
this
a
evening.
good concept.
I run on sarcasm and and quirkiness in classroom, and it seeps into my evening. I didn't get all my sarcasm out for the day, but I'm just like, it's so
good,
dumb.
yeah.
I'm like
It really is
pirating.
dumb.
It's like,
Especially books, like you said, libraries. Like it is.
like why are you pirating a book when you can literally go to your local library and get it? Is it because it's on hold and you don't want to wait? Sorry, learn some patience. Like, literally.
Hilarious.
Patience is a virtue that you obviously don't have.
Yeah, that's great. So next one is more about beta readers, but I actually was just curious to ask you, like, if you had an opinion on beta readers and knew anything about how beta readers work and in general, and like there's a whole controversy on beta readers are supposed to be like free. You're just a reader reading a book and giving your opinion on it,
Yeah.
and in exchange you're getting the book and you don't have to pay for it. Recently there's been a rise in beta reader services, which a lot of people are ticked about because you're not an editor, but you're charging prices of editors to supposedly give your feedback on a book. And there's been a huge rise of that, and a lot of scammers coming on and like trying to get you to hire them as like beta readers and stuff. And it's like I've even gotten solicited so many times from people like, I offer beta reading services. I was like, I don't pay beta readers, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Like that's where like the very concept of beta reading means that like the perk is that you get the book free. Like that's the whole point. Like you get the book for free. So there's no obligation to give it a good score because you didn't pay any money on it. Like you get a book, you read it, and then you
Mhm.
leave the review. Like that's how that works. And you don't apply for a book that you're not interested in. But I can see how
Yeah.
these scammers would like play in towards that because sometimes authors may be writing in a very kind of niche genre that just doesn't attract a lot of readers, and they're desperate for beta readers, desperate for good positive reviews, and I can see
Mhm.
how they would feed on that for sure.
Yeah. And like a lot of them for me too, it's like if you can't afford to hire an editor, the next best thing is okay, get your eyes on it, ask family and friends to
Oh,
read it,
yeah,
print it out, get it a different format, and get some beta readers because they can give you early
exactly.
feedback before you publish your book. And it's like
Mm-hmm.
if you can't afford an editor, you're getting readers' opinions. So you're literally targeting the audience that is going to
Yeah.
be buying your book. So that's the best thing to go. And I mean, you should still get beta readers even if you have an editor, but it's a great technique if you don't. So
Yeah,
but
for
yeah,
sure.
there was a person who made a little skit about one person who tried to solicit her. I actually had a comment on my Instagram the other day that was like that. That was
Wow.
like I had rejoiced that I'd finished writing Apex. It was like I offer beta reading services. I'm like, okay, I don't pay beta readers, so oops, I
Sorry,
messed up.
sorry, not
Yeah,
sorry.
sorry, not sorry. Okay, I clicked a button I should have, so I got to scroll back through this real quick. Ta-da! Okay. So another not really scandal. Okay, this one's a little bit more lighthearted.
Mm-hmm.
But a author offered an apology to her readers, and I wanted to read her statement because
Okay.
I giggled so much. Okay.
Okay.
It has come to my attention that my book has left people feeling very upset due to some poor choices I made while writing. And I was like, okay, we're off to an interesting
All
start.
right.
Go on. Specifically, I have received multiple serious complaints that too many of the readers' favorite characters died. This has led to the unfortunate side effect that readers have begun yelling and crying at the pages during critical scenes. My books can't hear you, but I can, and I apologize for this transgression. Please forgive me. I'm afraid I will do it again. And
That's
it's like, if
funny.
you need your heart crushed, check out my book. And then it was all this promo. And I
That
was
is
like scandal
awesome. I
mode.
love
I'm
that
oh,
so much.
too. I was in scandal mode. So I'm going, what did she apologize
Oh,
for? What did
yeah.
she do? What did you write? And I'm like,
That's
oh,
awesome. I
okay.
love that so much. That's like a pretty smart like
Oh,
marketing technique if I'm being completely honest.
and as I say, I'm like, I need to do that. I need
Uh-huh.
to take notes and do
Oh,
something
yeah.
similar. So, um, and then Carissa Broadbent, I actually can't remember if I shared this to you or not, but she released a snippet of The Lion in the Deathless Dark. She's like, I promised a snippet of The Lion in the Deathless Dark for my birthday, and after much
Ooh.
decision paralysis, I now have one to offer context free. Enjoy. And it was, she
I
did this
didn't see
on
that. I'll
December
have to
1st.
look. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
didn't know if
was
you'd see it. Did you see
yeah.
it?
No, I did not. I'll have to go back and read that.
Okay, I'm gonna have to clean it up a little bit. So, but let me see if I can click. Okay, I got the full thing. I will clean it up a little bit, so I'm going to filter some words here. But I turned around, ignoring the protest of pain in my right shoulder. Some of the bathwater sloshed over the edge of the tub. A few wet tresses of hair covered my chest, and only partly, but I wasn't self conscious at all. I wanted to catch it before he had time to throw it back into that box. Septimus's anger, raw and unfiltered and ugly and petulant. His eyes were bright in the darkness as if lit from within, and suddenly all of those broken glass shards of silver and amber no longer seemed to discordant, but fully unified in their rage. It was like looking into a mirror. It scared me, actually scared me, how deeply I saw myself in that expression.
Hmm.
Like, so
Fun,
he's an
fun.
angry person, and she literally, like, I don't know, it just relates to his anger. And I'm like, that kind of seems like an
I
interesting
know.
dynamic to be.
I know.
Yeah, so
It's exciting.
yeah, it's got like 400 likes on threads. And I was like, okay, okay, we gotta save that,
That's fair.
talk about it, you know? Yeah. Okay, what else we got? Okay, so starting on January 20th, 2026, Amazon will make it easier for readers to enjoy content they have purchased from the Kindle store across a wider range of devices and applicants by allowing new titles published without digital rights management, which is called DRM, to be downloaded in EPUB and PDF format. If you take no action, the DRM status of your previously published titles will not change, but the EPUB and PDF downloads will not be enabled for existing DRM-free titles. If you want to allow reader downloads for these titles, follow the directions below or on or after December 9th and select the option to
Hmm.
apply DRM. Um, I was really confused. I
Yeah.
know every time you're filling out the information for your ebook, you have to say whether you're going to do DRM or not. And I always forget which one is the best choice, so I have to Google it every time, because I think it's either yes or no, and it's like the same answer for me every time. Um, so there's been, I don't know, there's always now with, I guess, this new thing. I don't know if it's bad or good or anything else. I haven't really found a whole lot. Okay. Basically, the person says the person who made the post explains they want to make it so readers can download the EPUB or PDF file of our books. Absolutely not. Book pirating nightmare. So,
Weren't readers just complaining about the fact that that was getting taken away? It sounds
yeah,
like Audible's.
so
Sounds like Amazon's backtracking because there was enough Discord, like, negative reaction from readers.
yeah.
I mean,
But
I don't do that. I don't use that, but it's like there's not going to be a happy scenario. I mean, authors are not going to like the fact that you can download the files, and readers aren't going to like the fact that they can't have access to the book that they bought. I mean, like, that's the reality of it. Like, there's no way, like, buy a physical copy. Like, buy a physical copy. Or, I honestly don't like the idea that if I buy a digital copy of something that I can't have the physical file that I bought. Like, I don't like the idea of not being able to have it. Like, I can understand the concern with authors about pirating, because people are going to get access to that don't need it and post it places. And, and I just, but as a consumer and as a reader, I don't like being told that I can't have access to a file that I physically bought. And especially considering ebooks are getting so expensive now, it's like I'm spending all this money on a digital file that you're telling me I can't have. So it's like, I honestly, that's like when you read that and I'm like, oh, so Amazon's backtracking. Got it.
They're backtracking. Yeah, I never thought about that, but yeah, I'm so confused because, like, in general about how I feel about it, because I see both sides, and like I don't like the idea of people getting a hold of the raw files, but it's like I send them to people anyway when they buy the book direct from me on the one hand. So maybe that's how my books ended up on pirating sites. I don't know, but and it's like so, and I don't know. It's just like, because at any point they can, like, I own the book and it's on the Kindle, and I can switch and buy, like, I bought a new Kindle, so all my books that I bought are there. But and it's like, I don't know. Yeah, and it's just like weird. So the good news is that at least you can opt out, where like as an author, like you can opt out, so that's your choice, and the readers can be mad at you if they want, and whatever. But the other thing that they have, the new feature that's supposed to come out soon, is where you're reading a book and this AI will scan the book and answer any questions you have on the book, like if you're starting in the series, or you're like you need to catch up, and or you don't remember, like maybe you put the book down and now you forgot everything, and you're like, you need, like, who was the character's mom, or whatever, and they'll answer the question. The thing is, they're being really sketchy about like how that works, like if it's gonna scan your book, memorize it, if it's using it to also train the AI, or if it's just a temporary scan, answer the question, or like what. And the other thing is, like, authors can't opt out of it. So it was just like this huge thing that kind of exploded, where like in my author area, like a lot of, like, one of my author friends is like adamant about leaving, and she's already removed her books. She's already removed her books from it, from Amazon. But the thing is, a lot of authors like me, indie authors, like our primary, like Amazon's our primary source of income, so we can't just like afford to leave it or whatever. So trying to find her where she talked about it more. I think she had a blog where she had all of her announcements in one blog post. Now she went in there and talked with customer support and kind of came at it a little, because she posted screenshots of the conversation and she was a little bit more aggressive. She's angry. I can understand that. Not a problem. I went in it from like, I'm a reader and I had questions about this feature because I figured I would get more information that way. And it's not a lie. I am a reader and I am curious. So, and so I was told something a little different than she was told. And that's the weird part. It's like, why are we getting two different answers from two different customer support agents? Okay. It's called Ask This Book. Supposedly will only answer questions with information from the books in the series up to the point that the reader is read to, so they won't be able to get the rest of the story without buying and reading the books, and they won't be able to get spoilers either. And her opinion is like, honestly, any series that's complicated enough that you'd need to recap has a recap from the author at the beginning of the book, or tells you the events, or kind of like lets you know about it to some capacity.
I mean, none of
Other
the
people make guidebooks and stuff.
I mean, none of the books that I've ever read have ever had that.
Mm.
Like, I mean, I haven't read a lot of really thick, complicated books, but I mean, you know, I don't know. That was not a common feature, at least for me, that I've ever read.
The
But
Everking,
oh,
what was the second? Everking, Everqueen, whatever one was the
yeah.
second one, that one literally had a recap. I've never had a direct recap, but usually in the story, like,
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
have like like little
Yeah.
pieces and bits to remind you about, like, oh,
Yeah.
the character's mom died last book. I was about to say last season.
Yeah.
Like, remember, or
Yeah.
the effects of the plot from that book will
Yeah.
carry over. Like Misha died, and now Asar's trying to bring her back to life at the end
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Songbird
But
and the Stone or whatever.
yeah.
Spoilers, by the way. I just threw that out there. Um, so, when questioned by myself and dozens of other authors, there's a few things that have become clear. There was no warning before this feature was released. Authors are not allowed to opt out. They're refusing to say much about it besides the fact that authors can't opt out. They wouldn't answer if they've already, like, scanned your book, like how many books they've scanned, and like which books have been scanned, which ones haven't, and that sort of thing. Authors will not be compensated for their work being fed into Amazon's AI to train it, if it is indeed training it. Now, that I was told that it's just a temporary scan answer type of thing. She's, I guess, got a different idea or impression and is really freaked out about it and stuff, and so she's leaving. And there's a bunch of new platforms she's suggesting that I still think would be good to get on, and I'm still going to do them. And it's kind of like, okay, readers, you have other options, and so we're kind of,
Yeah.
I'm still going to pushing other platforms first, but I'm not taking my books off Amazon. So like Yearn is coming out, and it's going to be, it's set to replace Kindle Unlimited, not replace, but like it's going to be like Kindle Unlimited. So they'll have a monthly cost to join, but it will cost less than the KU, and we will, like, the authors on the other side won't have to be exclusive. Like, if we want to enter the KU with this one, we don't have to only stick with there. Like, if you enter the KU, you can't enter your ebooks anywhere else.
Yeah.
And you can also earn some affiliate commission on books that you share. They're gonna be like romantasy kind of vibes. They'll have reading lists like Spotify playlists, so you can mark the tropes in something that you love or something that you never want to see. There are no ads, and then once you mark the kind of books you like, it'll recommend other books that are similar to that. There's also going to be other social features, and stuff like that. So the other one was Page Perks, and it's in development right now. There's going to be no subscriptions cost, no genres excluded, and we'll have an affiliate program where readers can earn money just by recommending books. And they're non-exclusively, so they're set to replace Amazon, ARC services, newsletter services, social media, and more. So you can set your settings to never show you certain tropes that you don't want. Search by genres, tropes, or spice levels, and find more to find the perfect book. You can follow authors and get their updates without, like, social media algorithms and stuff like that. So it's going to also have like a social media aspect to it and stuff. So it seems pretty, like, both of those seem pretty interesting to me. But
yeah.
But yeah, so that's what's going on. I'm not too freaked. I feel like it's just like, oh, the world's ending and this is awful, and like people are freaking out, but I'm not. Maybe I'm desensitized to it, but I'm also more annoyed with the witch hunt about AI in my particular industry than I am scared about it. So I have a different.
I think it's one of those things. It's just there's so many bigger things going on in our life, in our world right now, that just doesn't seem like. It just doesn't seem like it's as big of a problem as what people are making it out to be. Like, AI is a part of our world whether we want it to or not. It's going to feed on the data because we're inputting so much data into the internet and into, like, the webs. We're putting so much information in. Like, just the fact that that people type their stories in a Google Doc is enough that your information's there somewhere, whether you realize it or not. So the fact that it's scanning a chunk of your book to remind people of where they left off in the story or what happened in the previous book, that's not, again, they're getting your information anyway, whether they admit it or not. Like, like
Yeah, like I'm more deterred by like having a conversation with somebody and then getting an ad about whatever we were
exactly.
talking
So
about.
it's
If
like
they're
and
listening,
that's
like
what I was
that's
getting
what
ready to
pushes me
say
more.
too, is like,
Yeah,
there's bigger problems in our world than that. I just, that's where I honestly sometimes struggle with having empathy for certain situations or certain people. And that's where I'm just like,
yeah,
tough love, move on. And I know that's like, I know that there's a lot of people that feel that same way, that feel the same way as her, that are genuinely concerned about this. And it's like,
yeah,
I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Like, I as a reader, I think that would be nice. Like, if I'm getting ready to buy the next book in a series and it's been a hot minute, having an AI refresh my brain on what happened at the end of the book would be nice. Like, it's a nice feature. It's a convenient feature. I mean, I
yeah.
wouldn't, like, purely as a reader, I wouldn't mind it. Like, I don't.
I can see that. Like when the next book comes out, like, are we gonna have to reread Fourth Wing, Iron Flame, and Onyx Storm just to prepare for like,
Yeah. Yeah.
the next books, or like
Or
read
can
some
I have,
recaps on social media,
yeah.
or
Yeah.
can I, or like if I forget something, like remind me.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be convenient.
Yeah.
But
Or it's like,
um,
what's stopping me from going to Chat GPT and being like, hey, can you refresh my brain on what happened at the end of the book Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros? I'm getting ready to read the next
sure
book. Can you
probably
refresh?
give you an
Can you
answer.
give me a, like a short graphic that refreshes my brain on the lore that's happened so far? I guarantee you, it would give you some kind of result. Like, there's features out there that are doing this already, and nobody's said anything until one particular company mentions it.
Yeah, I think sometimes people want to criticize anything it does, and like it's not a good company, and it is
No, yeah.
dominating
Oh,
like
yeah, for
like
sure.
online here. There's a lot
Yeah,
of reasons to be angry with them, but it's
yeah.
like you said, it's not going to stop. AI is here to stay, and features like this are only going to continue to grow. And the
Hmm.
thing is, the one thing I never understand about the AI is going to take over. AI cannot run without a human. Like you have to have a human behind there giving it prompts or
Yeah,
telling it what to do, or like it's not going to sit there and start doing stuff on its own.
yeah.
So like we're not in
We're not that
iRobot here.
technology advanced
Like
yet. We're not at the. Remember that that Disney Channel original movie Smart House, where this.
yes, oh
Remember
my
that
god,
movie? Oh my god, that was like the first like thriller
such
horror
a
film
vibe.
that I ever
Yeah.
experienced. Was this like house that? Okay, for people that don't know the context, it's a Disney Channel original movie from like late '90s, early 2000s. I can't remember when the
Mhm.
exact date it came out, but essentially this husband and the son, this family, like they lost their. I don't know if they didn't have a. Do they have a mom or the mom pass away or something? I can't remember.
Something like that.
But the mom passed away, so it was like the dad and the son, like the kids and stuff. And this house was a smart house, and it was run by this AI woman. Essentially, it was AI, is what it was. This woman, but the house was like almost like a sentient being, and it would like lock the doors and stuff, and wouldn't let them leave. And it was like this whole big, yeah. So you should look it up and
Yeah.
find it. Go on Disney Plus and scroll through like the archives and see if it's on there, and watch it. It's an interesting, you know.
Yeah. So since we're talking about it, can we talk about how much that blew our minds?
I
Like, oh
know.
my gosh, is that
Yeah, I
like
know.
the technology is so dated? And we're like, oh
Oh my
really?
god, yeah.
But I was like, that would be so cool. I was like, mind.
Or
Like, I
like
don't
it's
remember
in Spy
specific
Kids
time.
and in Spy Kids when they put the little discs into the microwave and it pops out with like a full meal. Like we still haven't got to that point yet. I want that. Like I can have these little discs and I get like a Big Mac and fries just right there. But I feel like that would
That
give
would be
the
great.
rest. I feel like it would give the rest of the world just to crap on Americans more and talk about how horrible we are as a country.
Can you imagine
But
the
I feel like
process
that would
Like,
that would be so processed. Like it's ridiculous. But it's like it would give them more ammo. So it's like a do we want it or not? But I think it would be cool.
yeah.
I just want to experience it once, like just once.
Yeah, just to say that you did it. Yeah, I totally get it. It's like how back in the day they thought we would have flying cars by now. Like if you
Yeah.
asked them back then, what do you imagine 2020 will look like, or 2030 will look like?
Yeah.
Flying cars, all this cool
Just
stuff.
watch,
It's like,
just
no,
watch Meet the
let's go.
Jets. Just watch Meet the, or not. It's not Meet the Jetsons. It's like, I think it's the Jetsons. I forget. I think
The Jetsons,
it's
okay.
like it's like a cartoon show that came around the same time as the original Scooby Doo. It was around that time, but
Yeah,
there's
it was
like
the Flintstones.
it's like Meet George Jetson. Yeah, and there's like the flying cars and bubbles, and I think that's where the whole disc thing is, where they have like little discs, juice discs and stuff, and it's just breakfast discs, like pancake discs, and there's different things. But yeah,
That's funny. Wow, we got on a tangent.
It's alright. It works.
It works. Yeah. So, last thing, kind of a positive thing, but book tropes or book trends that dominated in 2025, and they give examples of the books.
Okay.
So I thought, and some of these are like, you read them, so I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay,
so
cool.
Knights was apparently big in 2025. So you had The Knight and the Moth by Rachel Gillig.
Yeah.
Talk about that book.
Brutal.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then, and some other ones like it was The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri, and The Second Death of Locke. I can't see the author name, it's too small. And then The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. So Knights were apparently a thing that kind of came back last year. I can't believe that's last year. That felt so weird to say that. Okay.
Yeah.
Next was Wolves. So we had like Direbound by Sable Sorensen, which I have Sorensen. That is a tongue twister for me. Just FYI. I haven't read it yet. But The Wolf King, which I've heard about, and then The Wolf King and his The Wolf and His King. Sorry, the text was all I had to like follow where the text went. That's by Finn Longman, different than The Wolf King. And then Bitten by Jordan Stephanie Gray. Dystopia kind of had a comeback. Silver Elite by Dan Francis. Fable for the End of the World. Cold Wire by Chloe Gong, and then To Cage a Wild Bird by Brooke Fast. So those are some of the dystopia books from last year. Trials. So Trials was like a big thing. The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson. The Scorpion and the Night Blossom by Emil Wynne Zhao. Air of Storms by Lauren Hamilton Murray, and The Starlight Air by Emily Howard. Some of these covers in that one are like gorgeous covers. I can't just buy a book by its cover.
Yeah.
So Reimaginings, Never Ever After by Sue Lynn Tan, and then Medusa by Ayana Gray, and then Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair, and A Treasury of Swans by A.B. Porter. I feel like fairy tale reimaginings has never gone away fully.
Yeah.
So I think that's the end. Yeah, for some reason that was the end. So I thought there was more, but yeah, that was kind of fun.
Those are cool. Alrighty, guys, let us know how your books are going, your readings going. If you have any kind of new upcoming series that you're getting ready to start, or it could be a classic that maybe you've never read before and you're trying for the first time. And just let us know how it's going.
Yep. And if you have any other book topics, controversies, or book recommendations that you want us to try, let us know as well. So
yes, for sure. Alrighty, we will try to be back next week for another live stream, and we'll try to start the year off strong and back to where like we were doing earlier in the year last year. So, alrighty,
yeah,
we'll talk to y'all later.
Alrighty,
bye.